So we have natives. We live amongst the natives. I can go drive in 15 minutes from here and I'm on the reservation. And they're struggling. They're not doing well. They've not, well, you all know. I don't know if I know all the reasons why, but they've got a real chip on the shoulder. They're bitter about it. And you can feel it when you're over there. Do I sympathize? Yeah, well, of course. But that's always way. Everyone's been oppressed. No one's crying for the Chinese. No one's crying for the Irish that were terribly abused in this country. So, I mean, whoever's got the most power, who's got the best weapons and the best tactics, is the one that comes out on top. And don't tell me that the Indians wouldn't have done the same thing if it wasn't in their power. I've read the history of the Native Americans. We have this idea of the noble savage, that they walked with the buffalo and they were at peace with the land and they were in harmony when the white man comes and destroys everything. But that's not true. They were savage towards each other. I grew up in a place on the Willamette River where I was born and raised. My dad was raised there as well, where there is a great salmon fishery. Now, there was a small tribe of Indians called the Kanema Indians. This would have been on the Willamette Falls. And the Kanema Indians lived amongst the Willamette Falls, and they had a great spot to live because spring and the fall are massive runs of Chinook salmon. And they could go down there and they could fish and dip net till their heart's content. When the salmon are trying to spawn up the falls, they're easy to catch. They build a small platform out there. They have large dip nets and they can just dip them out. They could dry the fish in the sun. They had food, an abundance of food all winter long. So lucrative was this place that surrounding tribes would come and pay them a fee to also fish there. So the Kanema Indians were living large. Well, after a while, some of the neighboring tribes said, we don't want to pay this fee anymore. We'll have this to ourselves. And they came in there and they slaughtered every woman, man, and child of the Kanema Indians and took possession of it themselves. Go read the history. Indians were savage. The Cherokee, the Comanche, they preyed upon one another. They tortured one another. They were as brutal as any Europeans have ever been.